Hi there, hope you have a fantastic day today. This lesson I will teach you how to find second derivative of a functions. Of course, there is a PDF file versions on the description below for you to download so you can work with me. Otherwise, let's go straight into it. First one. So we need to find the first derivative, that is f dash x, and the second derivative, that is f double dash x. Okay. So to do this, first of all, we need to find the first derivative first, that is f dash x. So let me just write this down. So we know f of x is equal to 3x power 4 minus 2x power 3 at 5x squared minus 6x plus 8. So to differentiate this, so we can write f dash x. So that will give us the first derivative. So to differentiate this, so we bring the 4 down, and 4 times 3 give me 12. So that is 12x, and 4 minus 1 is 3. And then the next one is the 3. We bring it down, so it becomes 3 times 2 give me 6. So we minus 6x. So the 3 we minus 1 becomes 2. And this one here, the 2, we bring it down. So it becomes 2 times 5. And 2 times 5 is 10. And then 2, we minus 1, become 1. So x power 1. So we can just write x. And to differentiate 6x, so that becomes 6. So that is minus 6. And we differentiate 8. 8 is a constant. So differentiate 8 is 0. So this is it. So this is the first derivative. And to find the second derivative, that is f double dash x. So that will give me, so we do exactly the same manners, of course. So differentiate this function here. So the 3, we bring it down, becomes 3 times 12. So 3 times 12 is 36. So therefore, the x power 3, we minus 1, becomes x power 2. And the 2, we bring it down, becomes 2 times 6 will give me 12. So minus 12. And x, so 2 minus 1 is 1. So x to the power 1. So we can just write x. And we add to differentiate 10x. So that becomes 10. So let me just write this down. And we differentiate 6, it becomes 0. So therefore, the answer is f double dash is equal to 36x squared minus 12x plus 10. Second one. Now to find the second derivative of these functions, so we need to find the first derivative, and then we differentiate one more time, will give us the second derivative. Now let's find the first derivative first. So that is dy dx is the first derivative, or y dash. So we need to differentiate the first functions, and then we times the second functions. After that, we differentiate these functions, and then we times these functions. So we use product rules, okay? So let's differentiate the first functions. So that is x minus 3. So differentiate that will give me 1. And then we times the second functions, that is 2x plus 5 power 2. Then we differentiate the second functions, and the second function is this one here. So what we do, we use power angle trick. So the power is 2, we bring it down, becomes 1. So that is 2x plus 5 power 1, because 2 minus 1 is 1. And now we differentiate the angle. So power done, the angle is in here, 2x plus 5. So differentiate 2x plus 5, give me 2. So we times by 2. So we done with the angle. Now trick, we don't have trick functions, so we ignore that. So we done with the differentiation of the second functions. So now we just time by the first functions. So the first function is x minus 3, because 2 terms. So we need to open curly brackets. So now what we do, we just tidy up a little bit. So that will give me 2x plus 5 all square. And then we add. So these 2 here, we times together. That is give me 4. So we add 4. So 2x plus 5, and then x minus 3. So I suppose we can expand both brackets out and then 2x plus 5 square out, and we simplify, then we differentiate. But I'm not going to do that. What I do, I just take out common factor. Okay, so it's just easier for me. That's all. So the common factor is this. Okay, so what I do, I take that out. So that give me 2x plus 5. And then we take out the common factor because it's power of 2. So we took one of them out. So it still give me 2x plus 5 power of 1. So that's it. And then we add. So we left with 4 for this term. And we left with this. So bracket x minus 3. So there you go. So what I do, I just gonna expand this and then simplify. And then to make it easier for me to differentiate. So that give me 2x plus 5. And we bracket it. So 2x plus 5. We add, expand this. So 4 times x is 4x. And then don't forget this is a bracket. So 2 times negative 3 is negative 12. There you go. So now I just simplify a little bit further. So the first bracket, I just copy that out. And the second bracket is we have here, see, 2x and we add 4x. So that should give me 6x. So 6x and we have 5, we minus 12. So 10 minus 12 is negative 5, and then we add another 2, so negative 7. So minus 7. Otherwise, just put that on a calculator, okay? So there you go. So now, that is the first derivative, but the question is asking us to find the second derivative. So we differentiate one more time, okay? So to do this, let me just write this down. d squared y dx squared. That is how you write second derivative. So now we use product rule. So to differentiate this, we differentiate the first functions, then we times the second functions. And we add, differentiate the second functions, and then we times by the first functions. So keep that in mind, okay? So let's just differentiate the first functions. So that will give me the first function, differentiate this, it give me 2. And we times by the second functions, that is 6x minus 7. Then we add, to differentiate the second functions. So this is the second functions. So differentiate 6x minus 7 will give me 6. And don't forget, we need to times by the first functions. We use product rule. Okay, keep that in mind. So there you go. So what I do now is I just expand both brackets and then I simplify. So now I times this together, give me 12x. We times it together, minus 14. We times this, give me 12x. And we times this, give me 30. So there you go. So now I just simplified it. So I'm collecting like terms. So this is 12x. We add another 12x. So that will give me 24x. So let me write this down. That is equal to 24x. So now negative 14 and plus 30. So 30 minus 14 is 16. So we just add 16. There you go. Please pause the video and try this one yourself. Hi there, I'm back. How did you go? So let me go through it with you, okay? Before I do that, please do not forget to give me a thumb up and subscribe if you haven't done so you can help me to grow my channel. So let's get into it. So to find the first derivative of ht, so h dash t, which is equal to, we use power angle trick. So the power is 3. So we bring it down. So 3 minus 1 is 2. So power of 2. So 3, 2t minus 5, power of 2. That is done with the power. So now we differentiate the angle. So this is the angle. So 2t minus 5. So differentiate that will give me 2. So we times by 2. So that's done with the angle. Because we don't have trig functions, so we just ignore that. So now that will give me, so I just tidy this up. So 3 times 2 give me 6. So the answer is 6. 2t minus 5, power of 2. So there you go. That is the first derivative Then to find the second derivative, h double dash t, that is equal to, we just differentiate the first derivative. Okay, so that's all. So now to differentiate that, we use power angle trick again. That the power is 2, we bring it down, and then we less 1. So 2 minus 1 is 1. So, but then 2 times 6 is 12. So 12, 2t minus 5 power 1. So we're done with the power. And then now we differentiate the angle. So this is the angle. So 2t minus 5, we differentiate that, will give me 2. So we just times by 2. So now done with the angle. And again, there's no trig function involved. So we just ignore that. So I just go 12 times 2, give me 24. So 24 and 2t minus 5. So there you go. Of course, you can expand it out if you like. Otherwise, this is perfect, okay? Last one. So to find the second derivative, what we do, we just differentiate the function twice. That's all. But then in this case, we need to use quotient rule. So we need to derivative top functions, times the bottom functions, and we minus, differentiate the bottom functions, and we times the top, okay? And over the bottom function square. So let me just get into it. So we write dy dx, that is the first derivative. So we differentiate these functions. So differentiate x minus 5, so give me 1. And then we times the bottom functions, that is x plus 2. Then we minus, so differentiate the bottom functions, that is x plus 2. So we differentiate x plus 2, give me 1. And then we times the top function, that is x minus 5. And over the bottom function square, so x plus 2 all square. There you go. So now what I do, I just remove the brackets and then I simplify it, okay? So the first one is 1 times x is x, 1 times 2 is 2. Negative 1 times x is negative x. Negative 1 times negative 5, so give me plus 5. So we just add 5. I just copy the bottom, so which is x plus 2 all square. Now what I do is on the numerator, I just collecting like terms. So we have x here, we cancel with this x. And then we have 2 plus 5. So that will give me 7. So the answer is 7 over x plus 2 all square. So there you go. That is the first derivative. We need to find the second derivative. So we just differentiate one more time. That's all it is, okay? Now to differentiate this, of course, we can use quotient rule, but easier if we just bring the x plus 2 power 2, bring it up, become negative index, and then we just differentiate. Okay, easier, that's all. So let me just move this up. So this is exactly the same as 7. I bring this one up, so it become x plus 2 power of negative 2. So they are the same. So now I just differentiate one more time. Okay, so that will give me second derivative. So d squared y, and this is how you write second derivative. So dx squared. So now I use power angle trick. So the power is negative 2. I bring it down and minus 1. So negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. Okay, so keep that in mind. So minus 2 times 7 is negative 14. And x plus 2 and negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. So the power done. So I write it here. Power angle trick. Power done. So now we differentiate angle, and the angle is in here. So we differentiate x plus 2. So differentiate x is 1 and differentiate 2 is 0. So the answer is 1. So we times 1. So there you go. That is the answer. So let me just rewrite this in a better form. Then we just go 1 times negative 14. We have negative 14. We times 1. So equal negative 14. And let me just rewrite this. About 3. So there you go. So now what I do, I just bring the negative index down. It becomes positive index. Okay, it's just simpler. That's all. So what I do now is equal. So I bring this down. So that becomes negative 14 over. So we have x plus 2 all power 3. So there you go. And I hope you got all of them correct. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.